Welcome, everybody, to the Anti-Think Tank. We are back after a 1-week hiatus. Not of our own choosing. It is mostly due to Ian here fucking up the most basic of tasks. Not even able to send a fucking email correctly.
Alright, so the first minute and a half of this recording is just going to be me basically getting verbally, like, Sodom and Gomorrah. So, go ahead. Have fun. I'm in the stockade.
Get up on the cross, young man. Get up there. No, we're not going stockade. That is too good for you. Like, get on the cross. I'm lighting it on fire.
When I saw that my recording wasn't ready, like, I was like, the only way to play this off is if I'm like, oh, silly me, forgot to do it. But inside, I was like, oh god. Oh, what have I done?
And it was a damn good episode, too. Lost to time, never to come again.
It would have been an all-timer, dude. Like, it would have been great. So I'm very sorry. I will never do that again. I have the screen right in front of me. It's recording my audio. It will never happen again.
That's nice, retard. For the watch, Justin, grab the knife.
Not for the watch. All right. But moving past that, what are we going to talk about today, boys?
Well, you wanted to talk about something, now, didn't you?
Man got flogged, and the man got flogged live on TV. And it was like, so yeah, that thing that I suggested that we do right at the start where I jerk off my album.
Okay, well, now I don't want to do it. No, like, I'm done.
Can someone else bring it up?
No, I'm completely done. Like, that was actually just, like, a little bit too far.
What?
So, I mean, you said a minute and a half of flogging.
Yeah,
and it had been a minute and 15 seconds. I had paid attention. I used the last 15 on a fucking haymaker.
Like, because now I can't mention it without it seeming like I'm whacking myself. Just listen to it when it come out. All right,
well, go ahead and give us a good proper introduction to that. Like, go ahead, tell us what you're doing.
Okay, fine. So, I don't know. When I was younger, I always wanted to make music. And then I started making it, and, like, I really loved it, but I kind of got into this mindset that, just not polishing things, because, like, that's what the commercialized thing would do. Like, they'd make it sound good. And so my first album, like, I love it to death, but some of the absolute most basic things that Justin would, like, recommend to me, it's like, hey, maybe this track needs drums. I was like, no, that's what the man would do. It doesn't need drums.
That is true. That is actually true.
That's canon. Like,
man,
I literally
was out in the fields, just wild, naked, and free, putting out some of the most, like, one track would be the most freeing guitar riffs you've heard, and the next one would be him just doing, I don't know, some sort of, like, Japanese Mongolian throat singing hybrid. Just like,
listen. I want you guys to understand what I went through to be his producer for that first album. Okay, like, so the first solo recording, I want to say, was the first track of the album, and he wanted like things to happen at a certain time. I said, okay, let me play it to the click track, and I noticed that he played off the beat, and I'm like, Ian, have you ever played to a click track before? He goes, no. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Okay, and then I got so up my own ass about it, I was like, you know what? The man wants me to play to a click track, get rid of it. And so the first album is like the basic concepts of just melody and polish, like, they're just not there. But I still love it.
Listen, so
I'm glad I made it.
There's one shining star from that album, and it's Naysayers POV parentheses orange juice. And on this track, I play all the music. It's me, except for like a little electric drum kit that's like doing all the drums. But I'm doing guitar and bass. And I told Ian, okay, I want you to write some lyrics over this and see how far we can get with this. And I still don't know what you're saying. Honestly, you just like started blasting shit.
That was one of the most fun days of my entire life. That was so good. I loved that day. Like, because I could tell that, like, it was getting later in the day, and just to tell everyone here, like, when it gets into, like, the 5 or 6 o'clock area on an off day, like, Justin needs his nap.
Yeah.
And I mean that in not even a disrespectful way, but like bro needs his nap, and there's nothing wrong with that. He gets up early. So it was like 5:30 in the afternoon, and like I could tell that the day was wrapping up. But then like I was like, okay, but it needs lyrics. And so Justin sat there and watched me just vomit on this already complete track. And it was a great day. I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is that like if you create art, don't be embarrassed of your older stuff because it's fun to use it as a gauge for getting better, and it's nice to just have it out there so you can look at it and be like, wow, like that's what I thought was acceptable 5 years ago. That's insane. Stuff like that.
I'll say this though. One
the
difficult
bigger
thing.
message to this is the bigger message to this is if you're making art, sit your friends down in the room as you're making the art and make them listen to it or watch it and just cream yourself on their fucking cringy ass reactions trying to dodge anything they're saying to you.
I know what were you gonna say,
I'm
Justin?
gonna say this. Like, one thing I've noticed about working with you on any professional project of all time is that you do things spontaneous, and it makes me laugh, and it sucks for the audio. Like every time, like when Naysayer's POV lyrics are being recorded, I had no idea you had lyrics written down. You just kind of started singing. Some things I could pick out, and I just could not stop laughing. We had to take like 3 different takes so I could stop laughing in the fucking audio. And then it kind of gets transported into the sketches that we do now, and like for instance, I give you guys a script, or you guys have a script, whatever, and then I expect you to like, okay, this is what I'm expecting to hear you say, and then you start talking, and it's something complete off the fucking wall, and I laugh harder at it. I'm like, fuck it, let's do it again, and this time around, let's make sure I'm prepared for it.
And while I'm so happy that I want to keep that approach to like the skits we do and the stuff on the channel with my music, I definitely want to take it more seriously now.
To be fair though, Justin, some of your directing is quite literally just make some shit up, I guess. Like just ad-lib it.
No. So here's I try to follow the same directing style that best I can to George Romero, which is okay. Here's the beginning and the end. Here's the things that I want to make sure we hit, and here's an outline that I have to get there. But if you have an idea, let's also shoot that and see how it goes. But there's times, though, with filming with Ian, it's just like, I'm expecting, because he didn't tell me anything about, oh, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. None of that. He just goes off the fucking wall. It makes me fucking laugh. We have to do it again. I'm like, okay, I like it. I really like it a lot, but just let me know you're going to do it ahead of time so I can prepare for the laughter.
I'm just glad that we're all in a space where we're just having fun, writing stuff, having fun with the channel. It's a great time in my life. I'm quite a fan. I'm gonna stop chewing into the mic now. Sorry. I got
Great
some pecan
ASMR for our audio listeners there.
I got some pecan sandies, and these shit's hitting, and I wasn't letting anything keeping me from them. But anyway. To finish up that little section, thank you for indulging me. I'm gonna go ahead and... Actually, no, I'm not giving a release date. Screw you all. Expect peak within the next month. Moving on.
Is it done?
Some could say it's just beginning.
Okay, here's the thing. This is like the second time you've mentioned this not third album, but the fourth album now. And you're like, oh, it's coming soon. It may come this time. And I'm just now starting it. And now we're in fucking close to fucking May. Like, tomorrow will be May. And you're just sitting there just like, yeah, I want to promote this new album. Okay, is it almost done? It's actually starting to begin it.
No, like, that was a joke. Like, that was actually a joke. The album's been done for about 4 days now. I'm just, like, editing it, mixing, and mastering it. Hopefully I'll have it done by the end of May. The major thing I have to do now is just the photo shoot, where I get the album cover and the back cover and all that kind of stuff.
You want any help with that?
The story around that, by the way... No, the story around that is actually fucking hilarious. He had, like, a good idea. And then, like, presented it to him. He was like, hey, what do you think of this? And then, like, less than 2 minutes later, I just brought up another idea, and he was like, fuck. I like that better. I've been sitting on this shit for nearly a year. Why did you do that?
To be fair, I had the idea for the cover, and Ryan took it and he just changed one thing about it, and I'm like, I like, you guys know that line from Mr. Boss during the Frowning Friends episode where he's like, "Fuck, it's genius." That's what that was me. Frowning Friends, it's genius. That was me. Cause like he had a great idea. So yeah, just mixing, mastering, album cover, and I'm so excited to get that done.
Can we expect?
What about you guys? What's going on in your life?
Can we also expect CD and vinyl copies? Because I never got a CD or vinyl copy of At Home in the Cold.
I will get that done for you. I'm gonna be dead ass with you. The reason why I didn't do CD and vinyl copies for the second and third ones was because the third one, while I was extremely excited about it, I didn't have a whole lot of money at the time to get that set up on Kunaki. But this time I'm more financially stable, so I'm getting that set up with this one, dude. I'm very excited.
All right.
People gonna be bumping it, bro. So anyway, what about you dudes? What's going on in your life?
Because the last episode died, like, is it public that I got a dog now, or no?
No, it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a dog. He's named Cricket. He's just chilling right now on the bed 2 feet away from me. Just kind of in his own... Jesus Christ, you look fucking creepy when you sleep. He does this fucking thing where he just barely keeps his eyes open and rolls them to the back of his head and just has the white showing and just twitches every once in a while.
Oh, he's in a deep sleep. That's all it is.
I think it's called a seizure.
No, he's in deep sleep.
What an adorable little dude.
Yeah. He bites the shit out of me.
Oh, fucking!
Aren't you trying to actually give the story of how you came to have him, or what were you gonna say, Justin?
I was gonna say, yeah, he's a fucking biter because he's teething. I know he is. But after we recorded the first sketch of Laughing Stocks episode 2, after we fixed after we solved Ian's issue, which we'll get into later, I went back to Ryan's house to hang out with him for a little bit, and his dog like chewed the hole in my pants. He chewed my shoes. He chewed like the back of my little pants leg. I'm not upset about it. I'm not. It's cute as fuck. It's just, damn, that's a lot of chewing.
It's a significant amount of chewing.
Yeah, you're saying your things. No, he chews me. Like, I will give him something. He will like stare at it, grab it, toss it to the side, and then just start gnawing on my fucking hand. And I'm just like, this is not what you should be doing. I have taken time out of my life to feed and make sure you are alive for the next day. Can you at least repay it with like love instead of pain?
He's literally biting the hand that feeds him.
And then he stomps on my balls.
No, you don't know
Why
any
is he
better.
the way that he is? He don't know no
Fuck
better.
you.
Classic cricket activities.
I want you to say, "Oh, he don't know no better," to like sitting asleep and then at 3 a.m, him waking up, yawning, stepping in front of my cock, and just literally doing the fucking rising skydive straight onto my ball sack.
Oh, he don't know no better. He just doing it because he a goofy dude.
He's a little goober.
Just a little goober, bro. Tell the world the story of cricket.
Oh yeah,
real quick,
and then after that, I roll over like in pain, look at him, he smiles, and then vomits on my bed.
Classic dog activities.
I love you very much, but I'm gonna really enjoy neutering you.
Chill out, bro.
Like I said, if you get him neutered, he'll calm down.
Yeah.
But he'll have some energy still. But you know, he'll be a little more calm, I guess.
And, like, I was basically driving home from work, and the car in front of me just kind of, like, slowed to a stop. The door on the passenger side opened, and I'm, like, at this point, like, I'm getting kind of angry, like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you stopping in the middle of the road? The thought hits me that, oh, I'm about to get carjacked.
Yeah.
And then I just see a puppy just get placed on the side of the road. A woman step back inside the car, the door shut, and they just drive away. And he's just like, he's just chill with it. Like, he looks after them, like, whines for a bit, and then just sits down in the grass, like, well, fuck, I guess I'm here now.
Oh
And then
my
I just
God.
get out of the car, went, pick him up, set him on my lap, turn the car around, go to PetSmart and buy shit for him, and then go home. And, like, I started vibing with him, like, fucking instantly, because he was a very quiet and nice dog. And then, like, a week after I had him, he got so comfortable with me that he now thinks that he can just do shit. And
not find out.
yeah, like,
Man.
like, the moment this camera gets turned off, I'm like, this is all a front right now. Like, I'm going to say, oh, my little sweet little baby boy, I fucking love you so much. The moment that this shit turns off, I know I am. I love this dog more than life itself. But, also, I really wish he would stop giving me involuntary CBT.
That would be very nice. Oh, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Cricket's a good dude. I met little guy one time, and he's chill. Like bro got on his back, and he was like, all right, you give me a couple of belly pats, and I guess we're good for the foreseeable future. So yeah, great dog. Love him.
Would recommend.
Would recommend if you want to dog nap him, or on the off. Actually, don't dog nap him. I'm fairly certain Ryan is a gun carrier.
Yeah, I am. I'd kill you. I'm not talking to you who would kidnap my dog. I'm talking to you, Ian, for suggesting it.
I just you end up in like a John Wick situation where you get your pupper, like something bad happens to your pupper, and you're just like, all right, well I already own the gun. It's happening.
Yeah, like that would just have to happen. I'm sorry. I'm not actually like it. Like you fucked with my dog. You gotta go.
You're done.
Seriously,
done.
dude.
I spent $200 on this free dog already. I'm too much in the pit.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm
on the way home, if like on the way to PetSmart, some guy like, I don't know, like rammed into my car, took the dog out of my hands and walked away, I'd be sad, but I wouldn't be murderous. Nah, like, I've had a little under 2 weeks with him now, and that's just my boy.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm so glad that it went good. I'm really glad that you rescued him and everything, and I hope that it continues. That it continues to go very well, because he seems like he will end up being a very loyal boy.
This is just like a very convoluted gaslight, by the way. Cricket's not even real. I just actually got like my neighbor's dog, put him in my living room for like 2 hours, let you meet him, and he doesn't exist. That's why he's never barked on fucking camera.
The fact that there's like that 4% chance that it's just true. Because like there's part of me that's like, damn, like wait a second, stop, like are you serious?
No, I'm not fucking serious.
Okay,
that is the level of gaslighting we're used to.
Like that, I actually had a moment like Ryan, that's not funny. That's no longer funny anymore. Like that's not just a gaslight. Like you did that for sexual purposes. You just wanted to hoodwink us. Just like no, that level of gaslighting can only be a fetish. That is just way too cruel and long term.
No, I'd pick him up and put him next to the mic so he could like sniff it or some shit. But he's kind of like in his zone right now, so
Make him bark. Cricket, do us a little bork, boy. Do us a bork.
he's not doing it. I'll send you the picture of him, but he ain't doing it.
Do that thing where, what's that thing where if you like put a finger up a dog's ass, they like bark or something?
What the fuck?
That's called molesting them.
What the fuck are you trying to do?
Stop. I've never had a dog. Please don't get mad at me. I literally have heard that before.
Please don't have a dog. Stay away from mine now. You're not allowed near him.
Okay, no. Like we rent our house, so we've never been allowed to have a dog or a cat. Is that not true? Like, would they not bark?
I mean, I took him to the vet today, and they took a fecal sample, and his eyes went wide, but he didn't scream or anything. So I'm gonna assume it's a lie.
The idea of Ian like going to a stray dog that just won't fucking bark. He's like, come on, bark, and then he has this idea of shoving his finger up their ass.
Like I don't know, dude. Like, I've never had a pet. Like, I've only had small. We've talked about this in the past. I've only had small rats and mice and hamsters and things. I have to like, and if I put my finger up their ass, like, they don't bark or anything. They just die because like that's like half of their body weight.
It would be too much. You've tried.
Yeah, fucking Ian's the rat finger, the rat fingerler.
I like the idea that if you tried to do that to like a smaller animal, like that would just take up like most of your fingers, so you could just have a whole ass just hamster just chilling on your index. I want to write a horror movie about that.
This is probably now like
the rat finger.
This is now
It's not a horror movie. That's a fucking.
This is now the
film.
second most fucked thing we've talked about on the podcast.
We have a new character, the Fingler. I mean, okay, if you saw a horror movie based on the Fingler, would you not get a little bit creeped out?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It would be. It's not fear. It's like the human centipede. Like, you don't fear anything. You just kind of want to beat whoever thought of it to death to make sure that they can never share another idea.
Okay, so I take it the Fingler is not going on the top of our list of short films to make?
It's not.
The very bottom, actually.
That could be a personal project, or... But just know that the moment it gets released to the public, I don't know you anymore.
What if I release it and it becomes like the new like Godfather?
The fact you're trying to compare it to the fucking Godfather is ridiculous.
The fucking... The poster for it is just like the Godfather black and white, but it's just Ian with like his shirt over his head holding a hamster.
It's like Watch Mojo top 10 most devastating scenes in film history. Number 2, Michael has Fredo killed in Godfather Part 2. Number 1, the Fingler's unfortunate sacrifice. Like, I'm going to the big top, dude. I'm going all the way up. I'm really sad.
That hamster needs a full-blown character arc, dude. I'm more interested in, like, making the hamster into a character where he just talks about his time on set than I am with the actual character you're proposing.
Yeah, because, like, that's the thing. You can't really humanize the Fingler. The Fingler's more of a force of nature. You just have to kind of accept that he is the antagonist, and that's it. Like, I can't really do much with him.
Like, the story follows him. The plot, like, you as a viewer want him to fail. It's like watching a slasher film, but instead of gutting teenagers, he's sticking his fingers up hamster ass.
Oh my god. Alright, so, forget my new album. Apparently I've got a new project. Who knows what it could be. Let's kind of get off the Fingler though, because like now I'm like I'm thinking back to all my previous pets, and I just don't want to be in that mindset right now. Like my
Oh my
Nibbles
God.
would not want me to be talking about the Fingler. I'll tell you that.
His spirit's just looking down from heaven like, oh, let me check in on my best friend, the one who raised me. Oh my god!
Oh my god. Alright. Any more non-hamster related news?
I mean, shit.
I have some stuff. We could, if you guys don't.
Go on.
Attack on Titan Chapter 140 dropped this morning. I haven't read it yet because it's only available in Japan, but I have to imagine some bright young lads are going to translate it soon. It should be translated and up on illegal sites somewhere, I assume, in like the next fucking, day? Hopefully.
Here's to hoping, my friend. If it launches in the middle of this podcast, I leave.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I have my phone here and I've been refreshing the page of my favorite reputable manga reading site for the last solid, like literally since this morning at 9. I'm extremely excited. Slightly less excited because I got confirmation that it's probably going to be about Levi, which I feel like his story's completely told, and I feel like I've kind of mined all of the gold I could from his characterization, and I would have kind of rather it be about like Gabby or Falco or like Historia or something.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Still looking forward to it.
Gushing Over Magical Girls was like the top selling thing, so we got a potential season 2 there.
I will not be talking about that on public record. In fact, what are you talking about? I have no idea what that is. Who are you?
just immediately like I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand what you're saying.
Like, I know that was a sequence of words you just said, but I don't know what they mean. At least that's what I'll say.
That is what is going on record. No, I did not have sex with that woman.
I will say that the fact that Gushing Over Magical Girls was one of the most popular things on Zoro TV and like several streaming services, like one of the most popular anime for like the entire 12 weeks is very disturbing to me. But it is what it is. You're the one who brought it up, Ryan.
Yeah. And I pulled up the fucking r/anime Reddit, and one of the first things that comes up is Gushing Over Magical Girls Blu-ray/DVD Volume 2 sold 9,181 copies in 1 week.
Some people are going on some watch lists.
Which is an absurd amount for anything to do with DVDs being sold and like Blu-rays and shit.
Especially for a generic ecchi series.
We're talking about porn.
Do not underestimate the lengths people will go to for a nut. I learned that long ago. Gentlemen, I need you to speak.
I don't want to.
Turns out Cricket's just teabagging your face, and you just can't get a word out.
He's kind of just doing a little tweaky dance in the background with some foam coming out of his mouth. It's the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life.
Rad. What an absolute G.
Well,
Oh, Shogun.
Oh yeah, we can talk about Shogun now. We finished it.
Finally,
we've caught up with the rest of the world.
Yeah. Before that, Justin,
no, you guys talking about Shogun. I was just gonna announce something that I was gonna do.
All right. Do we want to keep it spoiler free or no, Ryan? I kind of don't.
yeah, fuck it. What? Like, if someone, how about this? Go to whatever timestamp is on your screen right now, or whatever is like pre-recorded at this moment. If you do not want spoilers for the Hulu original miniseries Shogun or FX, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Go there.
So it is an absolutely 10 out of 10, almost perfect score show for the first 8 episodes. And the last 2, it kind of stumbles into a standing position.
I'm genuinely of the opinion that if the last 2 episodes, which this wasn't an adaptation problem, this is a problem with the original story. They adapted it great. But if they had just tweaked a few things about the final 2 hours of the story, it is genuinely just like best miniseries of all time. Full stop.
Yeah, like, the issue that I had is that it was building Toranaga and his storyline to be the main plot line, and then at the very last second just fully swapped back over to Blackthorn. And I was just like, eh. Blackthorn is one of the best characters I've ever seen.
He's great.
But you can't bait and switch me like that with a fucking plot line. Like, I was fully invested in Toranaga. And
Yeah.
I know that the point of it is, like, you don't need to see the battle because he won before the swords were drawn and all that shit. But, like, also, let me see the battle.
Please, God. Because, like, so essentially me and, something I said, I think at the end of, like, episode 8, was that I love it when a story doesn't choose an absolute main character. And throughout, for anyone in the audience who has seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I made a comparison that I think that what the author does there, with basically having 5 characters that fill the main character spot, when you get into the last, like, leg of the series, not a single one of the 5 is shorthanded. I think Ryan would agree with that. That like Hohenheim, Scar, Mustang, Alphonse, and Edward all are not only plot relevant, but meet their have perfect thematic endings in the story, and all very much feel like the protagonist, right?
Yeah, like, pretty much all of them fit in their own primary character arc. And, like, you could take the story and shift it to them being the primary focus and make Edward and Alphonse, like, side characters, and a story could form and work in that way.
And I made a comparison that this is a great feeling in Shogun because Blackthorn and Toranaga do this great dance in the plot where it's like they're both filling the main character's spot. And there's so many different, like, fun things with that. And like Ryan said, like, essentially Toranaga gets his absolute best moment at the end of episode 8, and then, like, it's so hype. And then you have, like, what, maybe, like, 5 or 6 more minutes with him? After that, in the next 2 hours?
Like, episode 8 ends on what is probably the best recontextualization in any piece of media I've ever seen.
It's
like it makes Toranaga into one of the greatest characters I've ever seen, and then just like, all right, we're done with that now.
And, like, it's such an amazing scene. Like, what I love about it is that, like, it's an amazing scene on its own. We paused it after the scene where Hiramatsu commits seppuku, and we're like, that is just perfect. That is so good. I love everything about what that says thematically and in the plot. And then the next scene completely changes the previous scene, and I love both versions of it. I love it so unbelievably much. So then tell me why they couldn't just, like, keep that rolling.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, we both agreed that it brought a 10 series down to, like, and, like, 8, to me, 8. An 8 to, yeah, like, 8 or 9 for me, like, swapping between them, so he just said 8.5. Like, it... But, like, there are definitive moments in the series. Like, there's a moment where we were watching through and I caught, like, oh, that's an interesting detail that they added, like, the knocking floorboards. Like, I didn't think they would have that attention to detail in set design. And then, like, 2 episodes later, it becomes a pivotal plot point, and we just both looked at each other and did soy jack faces. Like, oh, holy shit! It's that thing!
Like, the feeling, there is absolutely nothing in this world, there are few things in this world better than the feeling of being rewarded for paying attention. It's so wonderful. I love it. And that show is just full of stuff like that.
Yeah, like, the ending is the perfect ending for if it had focused on Blackthorn for the entire 10 episodes, but it didn't. Blackthorn was at the POV of what the story was being told from, and then the story became primarily about him. And like, it just kind of felt needlessly bait and switchy. Like, I would have preferred to see the end of Toranaga's arc in full, instead of being like, okay, yeah, like, let's, like, we know from Japanese history that, like, the Tokugawa, when through, like, their diplomacy, establish the Edo period, and then Japan stays under them until the Meiji Restoration. Like, we know that, but, like, just like if you were watching something like the fucking, like, a movie about the lead up to D-Day. You would expect D-Day to be the climax of the movie. Like,
yeah.
You would expect there to be a scene in which that is the full focus. You get to see all the plan go out in action. You get to see some of the characters you've known throughout the story doing their part or dying in the process. And while you somewhat get that, like, it alludes and implies everything to the point where you couldn't pick up the information, like, it tosses it straight to you. It's one thing for the implication to be there and to basically confirm it, and another thing for it to show it for the viewer to get a full, satisfactory ending. This isn't, like, me and Ian talked about this for probably about 2 hours after the ending of it. This isn't a change my mind Steven Universe ending where it fucking ruins it. It just kind of leaves a bit of disappointment and dissatisfaction in the viewer at the end of it. And if you didn't get that, fuck it, dude. I'm happy for you. But,
I'm very happy for you.
like, frankly, I think in a month or two, you're probably gonna look back and be like, yeah, I kind of wanted to see Toranaga on the throne.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where like I feel like a lot of people were just so happy with the series that when they got to the end they were like, okay, I guess the implication is enough. But it's okay to admit that, hey, the implication is cool. But this is a very, very, very slow burn series, and I really would have liked for something a little more in your face.
Yeah, like, it is, like, build up, build up, build up. The tension is just rising and rising and rising, and you're waiting for that break, and it just never happens.
Now, I will say something that a lot of people have said is that a lot of series, in fact, I think you could argue that a majority of series end the main conflict in their penultimate episode, and then the final episode is wrap up. And we didn't know it, but this one also did that. Ironically.
Yeah, like, with, like, what, we basically, like, started pitching ideas back and forth after the episode ended, and, like, we were talking, like, okay, so my idea was, like, Blackthorn's character arc of that he will eventually die in Japan could have been concluded in the penultimate with him just dying with Mariko and Yabushige, or even you could keep Yabushige alive and, like, have, like, a back and forth, like, flashback between the present and the past, like, as he's explaining the plan during his seppuku. Like, you could very easily make the final episode resolving the main conflict, like overarching one, while still keeping Blackthorn's character complete. Like, he did not need that extra episode, whereas it felt like Toranaga kinda did.
I can definitely see that. I'm a little bit more on. I'm personally so satisfied with like the final shot of Blackthorn and Buntaro like taking the Erasmus out of the ocean.
I'm
I thought that shit was so good that I personally am like I definitely am glad that his destiny is to stay in Japan for the rest of his life. Personally,
I, I'm like I do love how his character arc ended, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that while I do love how Blackthorn's character arc ended, I think as a piece of media, it would, like, his character arc ends in a similar fashion of him accepting death with Mariko, uh, while being able to then focus on the main plot line of Toranaga and his rise to power afterward. But there is one thing that I thought of over the last couple of days, and it's that Buntaro is kind of a wasted potential character. Like, we kind of just got the man who was cucked to death, and nothing else.
there definitely could have been more there, but like I personally I kind of like the idea that like he just a lot. I feel like a lot of Buntaro stuff happens off screen because he's just not in the last two episodes.
Yeah, that's partially what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
we had like a full, like, episode 9 was almost entirely dedicated to Mariko, and her like coming to and saying like, no, I don't want death, I just want to get away from you. We don't get to really, like, for her backstory being completely and totally delved into, we don't really see that. Like, Buntaro is a surprisingly small amount of the story for how much it talks about how much of a role he seems to play in Mariko's decision making and such.
It also didn't really explore their relationship very heavily, I would say.
Yeah, like, it was very much focused on her and Blackthorn getting together, and I felt a little bit like their relationship could have went down a similar route if Buntaro had just stayed dead, like in the fucking backstory for Mariko. Like, Buntaro, he had, like, part of it is just that the build up and the tension was like just mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting with Buntaro. And then at the end of it, he's just like, after his wife like died with Blackthorn, like in the same room, they escaped to the same area together. They knew that they were sleeping together at that point. And he just kind of like looks over at him, nods, and helps him start to pull up his ship. And I'm just like, this feels at least a little out of character.
Okay, I like it personally. However, would I have liked it more if like we got like a nice 5-minute conversation between the two? Definitely.
Like, he just needed, like, those scenes of like Blackthorn thinking about what could have been, like sleeping in England and such with his children, talking about how he killed hundreds of savages with this blade and shit like that. I would have rather had a scene of like Buntaro and him like talking about Mariko and like them bonding a little bit over their shared connection to her.
I'll be
to
honest,
justify
that probably would have made me tear up. Like that actually seems like it could have been fantastic.
like to like not only to like to justify the sort of like understanding they had at the end of the series, but also to flesh out and finalize Buntaro's character arc as well. It would have served both Blackthorn's arc, Mariko's arc, and Buntaro's arc so well while those scenes did add a little bit to Blackthorn's depth as a character,
Mm.
I think that the trade-off of not having finalization to Buntaro and having that little extra thing of like that understanding be justified is much more damaging than otherwise not having it. And like this isn't me shitting on the show. There is so much I love about it. I recommend it to anybody who is like thinking of getting into it but like is unsure. Just the I do have issues with it here and there, and the issues that I have with it, I think, at least in my opinion, are fair.
Okay, stop. Just right quick. Okay, so do not get mad at me before I say this. I have absolutely no idea what happened. I haven't pressed the keys. The last time I looked at it, it said something like 47 minutes, and I just looked up and it's saying that it stopped. I did not press anything.
Well, it's on
So
47 minutes for me too, so just hit record again.
I don't know how to get back to that point. Like how to, it may have said something around 47. I'm not sure where it stopped. How do I get to the end of the recording line?
You hit record again.
Okay, it says 44, 46. So it missed a little bit of me talking about Guntaro.
Alright, well, I'm sure Justin can work around that.
I mean,
He is going
yeah.
to kill you, though.
I mean that's literally like that is okay, dude. That is literally a minute and a half to 2 minutes of missing dot. Like it's not a big deal. Speak.
To be, like, you were also quiet for the vast majority of those 2 minutes, so... But this is all probably staying in. He's
Well,
just gonna resync this shit and let us make fun of you.
this is fair. All of what you said is true though. Old Man Blackthorn is
So,
kind of based, but like not. There could have been more things there.
like, you're getting Yabushige. Go grab your knife, get over to the cliff edge, and commit the seppuku. You've dishonored this family. You've dishonored this clan. I will be your second, don't worry, but only because I need to see you die for it.
Thank you so much, bro. Like why? There is something truly depressing about like I want anyone out there, please make a fan fiction of like Yabushige and Blackthorn swimming to England together and just make it a slice of life series because that's the ending I wanted.
Like, the fact that he suggested that, like, in a pure desperation was fantastic. Like, this trickster Japanese guy just looking at an English pirate and being like, hey, when we get back to your ship, we could just grab some other guys and just go straight to your home country. What the fuck do you call it? England? Yeah, I could drink tea and eat biscuits and shit.
Dude, like literally thinking about it is actually like giving me the feels, dude. I don't know why. I got so sad at that. Like I think it's just that
Like,
like
him stripping off his fucking clothes. Like, teach me to dive like you did to Toranaga, please. Like, anything.
no, what it is I think it's just knowing how proud Japanese people are of their like heritage in their country, and especially at that time, for him to just be like, yeah, like I'll go to England, I'll do all the shit. It's just so sad. Cause he knew what was gonna happen, and then it happened. Like there was no getting out of it. Bro got. He got for the sake of plot. Don't get me wrong. That makes it okay. Amazing series. Hello?
Sorry, I'm just reading something.
Alright.
Alright, it was just fan theory, god damn it.
What?
It has something to do with something with one of the manga that I was reading.
Oh damn.
But, you know, if I say what it could be, it would be a massive spoiler for you who follows that manga. So, well, not the manga, but the series.
What series is it?
Nagatoro.
Oh. I mean, I'm not exactly like fully invested in Nagatoro. I watch it, but you know, it's just okay.
The manga, I know I'm going to sound like that guy, but the manga is significantly better. So I would recommend picking it up and just reading through that.
Yeah, maybe. I perhaps. I do know that rom-com mangakas are like getting a lot better at actually, having things happen in their stories lately. Like after Kaguya-sama managed to get the two main characters together within a decent amount of chapters, like no one else can slack anymore.
Yeah, Akasaka kind of just walked out and said, "Look, I'm a married and divorced man. I have kids and shit. I don't know if he has kids, but I imagine that he does. And he's just kind of sitting there like, this isn't how like couples get together. They eventually do just decide to say fuck it.
Like we
like the story about two tsunderes who were like trying not to admit love for each other, ironically like speed ran falling in love.
It makes so many other like stories, just romance stories where the characters never get together. Just I can't do it anymore. After like Kaguya-sama is like, it's like the Better Call Saul of like what Better Call Saul did for court series. Kaguya-sama did for rom-coms. It's just impossible to enjoy other ones now. I have spoken my piece.
Like, speaking of which, his other work, Oshinoko, has hit a stride in the manga of just some whack shit. So
nice. I'm saving that one for a nice little day. Because I've heard people say like
you know what?
What's up?
We have a good 15 minutes here. Can you read like a chapter per minute?
No.
Like,
I'm not reading
because
to the iconic Oshinoko like episode 1 plot twist on live television.
Like it is unironically one of the most like Akka kind of just walks in and just goes like, "Hey, we're gonna do some weird shit today, and you're gonna be along for the ride. And if you're not, that's fine, dude. But you're not gonna look away."
No, I'm aware, and I know I'm going to watch Oshinoko at some point. Give me time. Give me time. I feel like you were not going to give me time. Hello?
So there's this doctor.
What?
Just hit him with so there's this doctor. And I'm going to go through the entire plot line of the show before you can ever enjoy it for yourself.
Alright.
But don't worry. I'm not going to spoil anything because I'm going to I'm not going to say any characters' names. I'm just going to tell you every detail for you to immediately recognize them upon their appearance, okay?
I didn't do that for you with Monster, did I?
No.
Okay.
This is a completely unprovoked attack.
Okay. Because I've done...
I just want you to suffer.
This is fair. That is kind of interesting. When you're trying to, like, pitch something to someone, different people have different skill levels of, like, being able to disguise things. Because you have to hook someone, like, tell them the main hook, but you gotta be vague. Well, you don't gotta, but some people require it.
Dude, some people require, like, you could be the best salesman on Earth for a series, like, you've brought it up to me, like, how hard it is to sell Monster to someone, even if it's, like, actually one of the best thrillers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are just like, oh, but it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon, though. I'm like, yeah. What might your point be? Like, no. I unfortunately, that is a case where, like, I just straight up tell people, like, it's a decent sized commitment because it's 74 episodes and like somewhere around 150 manga chapters. So if you want to get into it, I'm totally down. But like, do you want me to give you the? Because different series have a different amount of like things you have to tell someone without giving away everything. So to like give someone the hook of Monster to get him to read it, you got to spoil the first 8 chapters. Whereas different things have different levels. Like Attack on Titan, you just have to spoil the concept, which you get within like 30 seconds of the series.
Yeah. Like, you might have to say, oh, don't worry, it's not shonen trash where it's just action. Like, that's, from your perspective, just season 1.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if you just told someone about the first, like, anything below the first couple of... Even anything below episode 8 of Monster, you're not going to get someone to read it. You can't be like, yeah, there's a mayor and a little boy, and, he has to save one, and he saves the boy. And they're like, and? I'm like, well, the and is the fun part. Find out for yourself next week. Yoo-hoo.
Next week on Monster, Dr. Tenma has somehow just... Everybody around him just keeps fucking dying.
We don't know why. We can't seem to find out why.
And Johan's just in the background doing a quick smirk and a wink.
Dude, that is really unfortunate, because, like, most people watch the series because they hear about his character, so they already know the main twist of the beginning, like, going in. It's the same thing with Bleach. Like, you haven't seen Bleach, but you know the iconic villain, right?
No, actually. I very rarely look at discussions about Bleach, because I still plan to eventually watch it.
Okay.
But that eventuality is like the same thing as I will eventually watch One Piece. It's a promise that will never come.
No, don't say that. That makes me sad.
One Piece. They will find the One Piece before I start One Piece. Actually, that's a lie, because Studio Wit is starting One Piece, and I'm on for that ride.
Okay, now it's a thing, because I want to get into this. That is not the fun. The fun, once Luffy finds the One Piece, the world is going to know. It's going to be in the New York Times. Like, you're not going to be able to avoid it. So, it might just be better to... Okay, can you imagine the feeling of being caught up on the manga and being there at midnight during the episode during the chapter it finally gets revealed, which is going to be next year, Otis says. Like, the feeling is going to be indescribable.
No, because I can't read 1,186 chapters in that time.
Okay, here's the fun fact. Yes, you can. You technically can. I mean,
here's the fun fact. Yes, you can, cocksgun, and you're going to.
I mean, okay. Can you kind of see like my
Ian? When did you get in my house?
Can you kind of see my point of view, though? That
Put
just,
the
like,
gun down!
Wait, can you agree that, like, once the big reveal gets revealed, like, it's... The mystique of getting caught up is just not going to quite be there anymore?
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever the JJK fanboys decide to speak about anything.
Yeah.
Like, somebody telling the twist of, like, Madoka Magica before you start Madoka Magica, there's no point to it anymore, so...
Yeah, when you spoil episode 4, you basically, like, you've taken the fun away. You've taken the chocolate off the Kit Kat.
Yeah, like, so... When someone was... I saw someone trying to recommend Madoka Magica to someone, and so I kind of had to play, like, defender here. Like, there was a reaction YouTuber who was asking for recommendations, and someone said, Madoka Magica, it's like if a magical girl anime were written by Isayama.
Why would they
dark, and I'm like,
why would they tell them that?
Yeah, and so I just said, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, it's just a fucking magical girl anime. Like, you can just look at the opening and tell that it's a fucking nice show. Stop trying to, like, make it into something that it's not. And, like, I tried, but, like...
You did God's work there. You did, like, good.
I hope that it worked, but I know it didn't.
That really sucks. Like that. Like I hate it.
I know for a fact that like when fanboys of shows or series just decide to ruin the product for other people to try and flex their knowledge of it on others is the most disgusting shit.
Like I've like the things that happened in Nanking back in World War II are less disgusting than that.
They played baby bayonet practice, and I'd rather have the knowledge of that than the knowledge of what happens to fucking than what happens to Glenn whenever he gets pulled up on by Negan. Like whenever I'm first starting The Walking Dead, like please.
Oh yeah, no, well, like during that summer, like when it went to black in the season 6 thing, all of the comic book fans were like, "You guys know it's Glenn, right?" It's like, I know it's Glenn because I'm caught up on the comic book. However, why would you tell all of these people that?
Yeah,
it's
Justin.
Awful.
Huh?
Justin died. Justin, did you have an announcement or something?
Nah, it's alright. It's alright. We can move on.
Make your announcement now. Or I eat your ass.
So I have this plan to essentially upload a few more bits of content to my main channel. It's gonna
Let's
be like
go!
scripted stuff, but it's not gonna be anything like what's the best way I can put this? It's not gonna be anything like laughing stocks or something like that. It'll be shot like it, more professionally and whatnot. But like for instance, I have this little short film idea. As in short, I mean micro, like maybe 10 minutes. About Father's Day.
Mm.
And I'm gonna have to look through old tapes of mine to find clips of my dad.
I got you.
And yeah.
If you want any help or anything, I got you.
Other than that, I don't know. I might just do like experimental stuff on my main channel, like stop motion, claymation, something like that. I don't know, something.
Have fun, dude. I'd love to be involved with any of it that you want me to. I look forward to seeing whatever.
Yeah, I like to
want.
break up the void whenever I write scripts and we don't see each other to film anything for days on end.
That's your own fault, buddy. I will leave work in order to film goofy shit.
Oh yeah, every time that we have to realign our fucking schedules around you too because you work nights.
Who works nights?
You do, don't you?
I don't really consider. I mean, I guess I work nights.
You work from 2 to 11.
I suppose you make a good point. Okay, since it's second shift, I don't think of it as that. I think of nights as being like the actual night, but
I get off when people go to bed. It's night. You work a night shift.
I get off whenever I decide I want to get off. I mean that in the sexual way.
Okay.
I mean that in the truest sense of the word.
Your boss is just like taking the garbage out of the dumpster out back. He opens it up and you're just in there like full blown goon stash staring him down.
Oh, my 2 to 11s are just one big goon sesh. Justin, you do any gooning lately?
No, not really.
Ryan, any gooning?
Behind on your quota.
You're behind on your quota?
Plenty.
Ryan, how's your any good gooning lately?
Quite a bit, actually.
You can never tell what new phrase the Gen Z is gonna latch on to. They picked a weird one this time. I'm happy with it. We're kind of just at their will now.
The future is in good hands. One day the president of the United States is gonna be from that generation and we're all gonna fucking die.
Like the fact that Gen Z just keeps on making up slang and everyone else just has to kind of accept it. Like a 5-year-old just brought back the word Riz and now it's just a thing. Like I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it simply is.
Is Is it that hard to say charisma?
Yeah. It's too many vowels.
I want to see an RP. I want to see a
Too many
Fallout mod
letters.
that replaces the charisma word to just Riz.
Yeah.
Like, I want a Fallout mod that replaces all the dialogue in the game and runs it through the Chat GPT Zoomer filter.
That would actually kind of slap. I'd kind of like that. Wait. No. Okay. Speaking of slang and just weird stuff, a quick public service announcement. If you have not seen the finale to the decade and generational defining series Dracula Flow, go and check it out. Part 5 is 20 minutes long, and it is the series finale. It concludes the main character's arc in a wonderful way. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I can just imagine, like, pulling up on, the invading force from Caesar's Legion, at the Battle of Hoover Dam, walking up to him and hitting with, "This invasion lacks Riz, for real, no cap. You should go back east before you get wested."
There's just something about adding modern slang to like situations like that that's just absolutely amazing.
Can you imagine adding modern slang to the scene where Benny attempts to assassinate you at the very beginning of Fallout New Vegas?
Can you imagine putting modern slang in, like, A Handmaid's Tale or some shit? Just go through the entirety of Hamlet with just, not the entire cast, but just one Zoomer.
Okay, we really should have mentioned this earlier, because that's a wellspring of content. An entire story, an established story, switch one character's dialogue, make one character a Zoomer. Like, that could be incredible.
I think we found our next laughing stock thing after the ghost one.
Oh, that's gonna be fantastic. Also, I just want to say, for anyone who hasn't seen Dracula Flow 5, I just want to say a quick line here. They said I wouldn't shake the city. I shook that shit like a crying toddler. And then after that, I think it's like I sipped a Modelo, blacked out, woke up at Geneva. Aw, hell, I did it again. Broke boy tried to come up on my Amazon package, so I skinned his ass alive. Ah! So, yeah, go enjoy Dracula Flow. It's 20 minutes, but it feels like an hour. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I like how you put in chat earlier that you're going to consume it bit by bit, and you came to this fucking recording like, yeah, I've watched all of it.
No, all my references were from the first 2 minutes.
Oh my god.
I am huge into the Dracula Flow series. Like, I would buy a deluxe Blu-ray. It's I've never felt more connected to a character in my life. Like, I want to be him. Smoked a new op, his meat came right off the bone. So, yeah. I'm gonna watch like a minute every couple of days, like it's a new episode.
Shout out to the loot bug mod from Lethal Company that changes the loot bug noises to Dracula Flow.
It's absolutely wonderful. I'm trying to remember some of the lines it has, but it's great regardless. We're veering into an hour and 10-minute territory, though, and I'm not realizing.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to sleep now.